Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Lina Shazani Ilya binti Nazaruddin and my student ID is 2021454602. This is the presentation for the course code CSC508 assignment 1 and the topic is array list and linked list. So for this assignment, I developed an inventory application named Sapu Jobs that stored all details on creator Sapu Jobs like appointment and customer data for the use of driver Sapu that is mostly a student in UiTM Tapah. This application is developed in IDEA to help them monitor things efficiently, inshallah. So first of all, I will explain the code for both of the type of the list that I use, which are the array list and linked list. Okay, firstly, we will start with array list. In the class file, we have the class of array list exception as the runtime exception. The method in this class will be executed when we have a runtime error that involve array list in our main application. Next, we have array list class itself that we declare an object named data, and then we declare also the integer for length and max size. It has the constructors, which are the default constructor and normal constructor here. And then we have two methods of boolean, that is empty and is full. The isEmpty method will return the length equals to 0 if the array list is empty. And then we have isFull method that will return 1 if the length equals to the max size. And then to return the size of array list, we have a method called getMaxSize that will return the max size. And the method of getNum will return the number of elements in array list, which is the length. And then we have the method to return the number of elements at the back of the array list, the method called insertN. And to insert an element at the front of the array list, we use public void insert front object k. As we can see here, the object k will be inserted into the index 0 element, which are at the front of the array list. And then we have add method to insert an element at specified index of array list. As we know that array list have as a specialty to access exact location, which are the specified index. We also have another methods named getData, setData, and removeAdd to access specified location. Next, we have a method called removeFirst, removeLast to remove the first element and last element. We have the method clear all the elements in the array list named clearList. And lastly, for array list, we have the print method to display all the elements in the array list. Next, we will move to the linked list. In the class files here, we have the node class, which we declare an object named data and node named next. It has the constructors, which are the default constructor and normal constructors. We have a method of setData to update data in the node. And then we have setNext method to update the reference to the next node. And then we have getData to get the data in the node and getNext to get the next data. And lastly, for the node class, we have toString method to print all the data in the nodes. The next class is empty list exception, as the runtime exception. The method here will be executed if we have runtime error in our main application that involving the linked list. The last class in the class file is the linked list class itself. We declared node for head, tail, and current. So we have 3 nodes here. And then the string name. It has the constructors, which are the default and normal constructor. And then we have only one boolean name is empty to return 1 if the head equals to null. That is to check whether the linked list is empty. And then we doesn't have the isFull method because a linked list can be append or resize as long as it still has the free memory. Next, we have the method of size to return the number of elements in the list. To add new object data at the front of the linked list, we use the method of insert at front and vice versa for the insert at back. And then we have the get first to return the first element in the linked list. We use get next to return the next element in the linked list. And then we have get last method to return the last element. And then we have remove from front method to remove the first element. And also we have remove from back to remove the last element. And then lastly, for linked list, we have the print method to print all the data in the linked list. Okay, now we move to the object class, which is the customer class. Here I have import java.type.localDate for the use of my application. Okay, we start with the declaration of all the attributes that will be used in the main application. It's quite many because it will be useful for the driver sapu in UIT and TAPA. I have all the constructors here, which are the default constructor and normal constructors. The normal constructor here we have two because the different use of it in the main application. And then I have the setter for the attributes, and then the getters. And lastly, I have the printer method, also two of it, for the different use in the main application. The first one is toString method and the other one is print data method. We move to the main application named Sapu Jobs. Here I have all the imports that is being used in the main application. Here is the icon used in my application, and then I have welcoming text for driver sapu. So we start with creating all the lists. I have in total 3 lists here, named job list, today list, and cast list. I've choose linked list to store all Sapu jobs transactions, and array list to store jobs for today and customer details. Here is the attributes that is being used in the main application, the declaration and the initialization. And then this is the first thing to be appear in the terminal window, the current settings. So I have in total 7 options of main menu. So we start with the first one, which is the settings. The settings menu will make the user be able to enter their rate per kilometer and extra charges if they have. Otherwise, they can enter NA for not applicable. And then it will be updated in the terminal window of the current settings. Next, we move to the second option, which is the enter new jobs. This is the main option in the inventory application. It is used to store data in both linked list and array list. So first thing is, the user or driver sapu will be asked of the number of sapu jobs they want to enter. So after they enter this, it will be looping for the size of number of sapu jobs on requiring the inputs for these attributes. When the attributes is being filled up, it will create an object of customer will be inserted at the back of jobs list, and an object of customer also will be inserted at the first element of the array list using the different normal constructor because of the different function, or different use in the main application. For the third list that I mentioned earlier, we have 3 lists in total. So this is the first one, second, and finally the third one. It needs to copy some jobs in the linked list, which is the job list, that have the same date. Okay, so an obj1 is being created or declared to get the first element of job list, and then it will be cast to be a customer. If the time C here, the casting, get pickup date is equal to today, then obj1 or the object 1 will be added to today list, which is array list. So it will keep looping until it finish collecting jobs in the job list and copy them to the today list. So as usual, it will display back and update the today list in the terminal window. this one, if the get status casting here equals to done and upcoming, then it will count the total fair day by the get fair. This is to display here fair today total. This is the how we use the sum, and then this is how we count the average total kilometer per day by summation of get distance casting, and then we divide by the total number of job in today list. And also we have the display of all job list here. Now we move to the third option, which is the update job status. As the name, user will be given the option to update the job status to done or cancel. If the answer option here is equals to done, the casting of OBJ8 to customer named times C will be set status to done. This is the method being used, set status. And then if the answer option is equals to cancel, the set status will be cancelled. All the changes made here will be updated into the job list. The current status changes is updated in this list. But when user choose the fourth option, which is the refresh today list, it will update the array list where cancelled job is being deleted. So if the get status is equal to cancel, it will remove at the specified location. And as usual, it will update it in the terminal window the today job list. If the list is empty, then it will appear a show message dialog, no sample jobs for today. Next option is job history, which is the fifth one. It will display the job list as the name here, and it also has the function to find the maximum and the minimum of the trip distance. So the result of this will be appear in the terminal window, longest trip and shortest trip. So after that is being displayed, it will appear job summary is up to date. And lastly, we have option 6, which is the customer log. It is used to search for customer data by entering their phone number. So in this one, we set the boolean found equals to false and search index equals to -1. The list used here is cast list that store customer data. So if the cast list is empty, it will print out no data in customer log. And if there is a data, it will be looping until they find equals to what the user is searched for, and the found equals to true. If true, then the search result will be print out in the terminal window. And if there is no similar or the right data, and then it will appear data not founded. Lastly is the exit option, which will exit the system, and it will appear a final message called save trip. And that is all for the main application.
Now we move to the output demo. So firstly, a welcoming text will appear and we click OK. The current setting will be appear in the terminal window. And then we click setting to enter our rate per kilometer and our extra charges. The next one is the main one, which is the enter new jobs. So user need to enter the number of sample jobs they want to enter, and then fill up all the required input needed, like pickup date, pickup time, customer phone number, customer details, and all of the information needed for creating sample jobs. After user has done inserting details, it will appear in the terminal window, which are the all job lists and also the today list. For today list, we have fares today and average kilometer. The next option is to update job status. So we need to enter the index for it to be updated. The first index is index 2. We update it to cancel, and then we choose another index that we want to update, which is index 1. Since index 1 has the date of 1 May, so it is today. So the status will be cancelled for both index 1 and index 2. Next, the option 4 is to refresh today list. Since the only sapu jobs for today has been cancelled, so it will not be appeared in today list. It will pop up a no sapu jobs for today. Next is job history option. This option will display all the job list including the cancelled one. So in the end of the terminal window, it will have the job summary that display the longest trip and the shortest trip. Lastly, we have customer log that use cast list to store all the customer details. So let's say driver sapu only have the customer phone number, they can enter it to search in the customer log to find other details like customer name and customer address. So when the data is founded, it will appear in the terminal window. So the very last option is exit, where it will appear a message of save trip. And that is all from me. Thank you.